YouTube, what's going on? Kyle again from ePoolSupply. Today we are back with a quick fix on Pentair's Kreepy Krauly Legend. This is the Legend 2 pressure side pool cleaner. Stay tuned. Alright, and we're back. So again, today we have another quick fix video for you on Pentair's Kreepy Krauly Legend 2 pressure side pool cleaner. As you guys can tell, this cleaner is stripped down to basically nothing. So if you guys want to know how we got to this point, make sure you guys check out the links in the description, as we have a whole playlist taking this cleaner apart from the outside in. For today's video, we want to explain as well as show you guys how to replace the rear thrust jets. So these rear thrust jets are meant to help control the direction of the cleaner. So as the pressure is coming down this main feed tube here, and it spins off here at the very beginning to relay back to the turbine, which is what's actually going to move the axle, which is actually what's going to function the cleaner. After it gets past that point, it's going to give the additional pressure to the tail sweep, which is going to be the part that whips back and forth on your cleaner, helps clean up all the dirt and debris. And then as you come underneath the cleaner, you can see it then feeds to the rear thrust jets, as well as from there, it pairs off into the Venturi jets. So these rear thrust jets, you typically do not want to mess with the direction of these. So moving these by a 1/16 of an inch can affect the complete functionality of the cleaner. So it's always suggested to never touch those straight out of the box. They're typically pointed in a direction that you need them to. But for whatever reason, if you're seeing that the cleaner isn't going in proper directions, or it's running the same directions, you can come in and finally move these thrust jets very, very carefully, because moving them slightly is going to completely change the way that the cleaner moves. So you definitely want to be careful with this. Make sure you guys read your user manual for directional tips on these, but they are important to the functionality of the cleaner. So if for whatever reason they've snapped off or they've fallen off with age, it's definitely something that you want to make sure is connected onto the cleaner without having this capped and actually fully attached onto the frame of the cleaner. You run the risk that none of the other portions along this feed mast will work properly. So if for some reason these are broken off, or you're worried about them, then maybe they just look old and frail, and you want to make sure that you keep the cleaner maintained and up to date, it's really simple to replace them. Located right here on the thrust jet is the plate that actually has two Phillips head screws on it. So you're just going to go ahead and use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove both screws off of that. It is kind of pressure fit onto the cleaner, so as you loosen it, you do take the risk that this thing just kind of pops out. But in this case, since I'm using a display unit, it's never been used before, it comes off pretty simple. So as you can see, here's the thrust jet plate, here's your actual thrust jet, and then located inside the feed mast tube, there's actually a little O-ring. So very important that all three of these things are kept in good condition to make sure that your cleaner functions properly. So again, if for some reason it's snapped off, it's broken, and you guys are looking to just reattach them and make them work, you're going to want to be really finicky on the direction. Try to focus on where you had them last, because again, if you move this slightly and then you throw this back in, your cleaner's not going to function the same. So make sure that before you guys actually take this off, that you take note of the location that it was pointed, to make sure that you can try to get back as close as you can to that position, so that you don't have to do a lot of troubleshooting on fine-tuning it back together. So to replace your new one, it's really simple. The O-ring slides right into the orifice on the frame. As you guys can see, it just kind of sits in there. And these are directional. You do not want to stick this part in the cleaner and reattach on the faceplate, as this is just going to fall right back off. So to make sure that everything works the way that it should, you want to make sure that you pay attention to how it came off, so that you know how to put it back on. Once you got your new one put in here, you're just going to slide the axle plate back over, and then you're just going to go ahead and tighten down the screws. When you're dealing with plastic on any kind of cleaner or pool equipment like this, always make sure everything goes on hand tight. don't use a power tool by any means. If you want to remove with a power tool, most of the time you don't run into any issues with that, but when it comes to installing, make sure that you guys stick to your hand tools, because if your drill's not set correctly and you over torque any of this and you take the risk of breaking your frame, it's going to cause you a lot more money in the long run. So hand tight everything if possible. So you're just going to go ahead. The screws already have their own pre-threaded portion here on the frame itself, so everything can line up just the way it needs to, as there's no real wiggle room, similar to like some of the axles like we talked about in the past. So once you get your new one, you're just going to want to go ahead and install it like that, and make sure that the position is set where you had it, so that way you don't run the issue of having to completely redo all of your troubleshooting tips on your cleaner. So again, make sure you guys check out the links in the description. We got all these items available for sale directly on our website, as well as a whole nother playlist on all other parts of this cleaner to help you guys get this thing back up and running. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button so you guys stay up to date with all our videos we got to come. We have more quick fixes on this cleaner, as well as all the other cleaners on the market. I'm Kyle with ePoolSupply. Thanks for watching.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. Subscribe today if you haven't subscribed. Check out the links below, and we got a lot more content coming your way. Thank you.